And U.S.-China relations. Joining me live, Jonathan Tanzer, Senior Vice President at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Jonathan, thanks for giving us a little time on this Saturday. I want to get right into this. How concerning is it that both of these young men that are serving in our armed forces are giving information to China?
Well, it's obviously deeply disconcerting to see this, but I think it's important to note that there is a long history now, really dating back 20 years or perhaps even more than that, of Chinese espionage in the United States. Right now, we see examples of this within the military, but we also see it in the intelligence community, both former and current officials having been turned by the Chinese. We see this kind of espionage at the university level with research that's happening on technical matters that the Chinese may be interested in. We see it in the private sector where they're trying to buy up or steal information. Some people call this theft the largest transfer of wealth in modern history, given the hundreds of billions of dollars that China has stolen or pilfered from the United States.
Yeah, these two men facing accusations served at two separate military bases there in Southern California, home of the Pacific Fleet, with the exceptional amount of stress that we're facing between China regarding Taiwan. How impactful is it, the information that they could have given out to these intelligence officers that are working for China?
I think it's hugely significant. You got to remember that China really over the last 10 to 15 years has gone from a strategy of trying to blunt American power to actually going on the offensive in the Pacific. So what they're trying to do right now is to learn everything about our capabilities. So, from everything from that spy balloon that we saw several months ago to what's just happened here. The goal is to learn as much as possible about our weaknesses, to learn about our systems, to learn about our plans. This is all, I think, in pursuit of that ultimate goal of dominating the Pacific and perhaps more specifically taking over Taiwan.
These soldiers are actually quite young. One of them described as a petty officer, second class. Here's one of the Pentagon spokespeople talking about the procedures they have to safeguard information. Listen.
We have a robust set of policies and procedures going through this situation that you're referencing in terms of the airmen. As you know, we have done a very thorough analysis on steps that can be taken to further tighten controls, and we're working through that process now.
Your thoughts on this information getting out there, being available? Does the military need to do something to further safeguard secrets that could ultimately be used against us?
I think so. I mean, when you think back to what happened with Jack Teixeira, the one who leaked a lot of that information out on Discord and other platforms about the U.S. operations or U.S. assistance to the Ukrainians, there is clearly a problem here that young people are gaining access to information that is extremely sensitive, and they're sharing it, whether they're doing it in more of a public way or they're handing it over to their Chinese handlers. It's clear now that we've got a lot of young people who are accessing things that could do a lot of damage to the United States. I think this is a question for the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, as well as the CIA. There needs to be, I think, a deeper discussion about how much access is granted on each of these specific compartments.
And I think to wrap things up here, how concerned are you specifically related to the information and when it comes to Taiwan?
Look, I think all of us see that there is a conflict looming in the Pacific, that the Chinese are, the word is irredentism. They want to claim territory that does not belong to them, although they historically believe that it does. They appear to be willing to mount a significant military effort. They are in the process right now of building toward that. The United States needs to think very carefully right now about whether we're going to support Taiwan directly, whether we do this ourselves, but there is a challenge to American supremacy in the Pacific, and it is looming.
All right, Jonathan Schanzer, thank you so much. We appreciate it.